You're listening to I Don't Do That, a lifestyle podcast with me, Ocho. I get to talk to lots of different people about all the things that they don't do, and you get to hear what they say. Na 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 na, yeah, no, I don't do that, no, I don't do that. You know it's alright, you can ask, but I don't do that, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. Episode 1.
That looks wet. It looks gross. It looks like it would be very unappealing in my mouth. No chance that's happening.
Episode 1 is I Don't Eat Soup. We're talking to Carson today, who doesn't eat soup. Carson is currently working on a bachelor's degree in business at a college in the upper Midwestern United States. He identifies himself as male and Caucasian. He's in his early 20s. Thanks for being here, Carson. How you doing?
Doing good, Ocho. How about you?
Good. I'm really glad to have you on. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes. Our first episode. So our first episode is I Do Not Eat Soup. So does this apply to all soup or?
It applies to all soup.
Yeah.
I can't even remember a time where I sat down and ate a bowl of soup.
Okay. Would you have a spoonful? Like, would you try it?
It's pretty hard to get me to try foods.
No.
And I really can't recall a time I've tried soup.
No.
Yeah,
So,
just stay away from that.
have you ever had soup?
I had to have.
Mm-hmm.
But even if I get sick with a cold, no, I'm not going to ask for a
Right.
can of chicken noodle soup. There's no chance.
So hypothetically, you're saying you've had it, but you can't even remember having it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Not
does
at
this
all.
include chili?
It does include chili.
Does it include stew?
What's the difference between stew and soup?
I mean, stew has like bigger chunks and thicker.
That'd throw me off immediately. You throw big chunks in something liquidy.
No.
No.
Okay.
That's a no.
Okay, so this is part of what I'm wondering is we're starting to get into some details now about what it is about the soup. So immediately, like what I'm hearing is it's kind of disgusting to you to have big chunks in something liquidy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks off. Doesn't look appealing. Unappetizing, if you will.
So a photo of it would be unappetizing.
Yeah, in a way.
Okay.
I'd be okay. It's not like I have a phobia or anything. It's just like, nah, I'm not going to eat that.
But it smells like food, right?
Yeah, sometimes it even smells pretty good from
Right.
what I know. But just looking at it, it's like they always say, don't judge food by looks.
Yeah.
I just can't help myself but judging it by looks if it
Yeah.
looks pretty wrong like that.
Yeah. You said you're a picky eater in a lot of ways.
Oh, a ton of ways. I've always have been.
Okay. You were saying maybe noodles? You're not into that?
Noodles are a weird one. Like, I love my mom's spaghetti.
Uh-huh.
But whenever I go to a restaurant and eat spaghetti,
Yeah.
it just never tastes the same. It's almost a taste I don't like. I don't know if it's because it's unfamiliar.
Uh-huh.
I don't know quite exactly what it is. Just like other spaghetti.
Okay.
It gets tough for me to eat.
And what about noodles in like Chinese food or in
Absolutely
nothing
not.
like that? No.
I like my
you're not-
chicken fried rice. That's about it.
Okay. Rice is cool, but not noodles.
Rice is cool, not noodles.
So does your distaste for food? It seems like it mostly is centered around wetness.
A lot of it is.
Okay.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's wet and it shouldn't be. No,
Yeah.
basically if it's just wet.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's a weird taste. A lot of the foods I've chose to be picky about eating centered around that looks wet, it looks gross, it looks like it would be very unappealing in my mouth. No chance that's happening.
All right. So so beef commercial or turkey commercial, like a sandwich with mashed potatoes on top of it and gravy.
I don't like gravy. I like mashed potatoes.
No
Mashed
gravy.
potatoes are good. No gravy.
No gravy.
I'm not going to ask for gravy.
All right. Gravy's a bit like soup, isn't it?
Yeah, in a way. I wouldn't know. I have no idea what gravy tastes like.
Okay.
Not even the slightest clue.
Would you try some just broth? Like there's no chunks in it.
No chunks in, just broth?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get me to try
You could try that.
Dip a little spoon in there, have some.
Yeah. How about au jus?
What is au jus?
Au jus is it's a dipping sauce for a sandwich. It's basically like meat juice.
I typically like dipping sauces. Go to a restaurant, order their signature sauce. It's typically really,
but
really
it's
good.
very thin. It's thin like soy sauce. It's a meat juice. That's all I can really.
It's a meat juice?
Yeah.
I'd give it a try.
Okay. But no chunks in liquid.
I'm not going to eat soup.
Okay.
I'm just not going to. I even feel really bad about this one because there's someone in my family. It's my grandma's sister, and she makes this phenomenal soup. Allegedly.
Sure.
I wouldn't know.
How would you know?
But she hosts soup nights all the time. And I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go talk to all the people. I'll talk to the family, and
yeah.
I will not eat the soup. Everyone just raves about how good it is.
I was gonna get into that too.
Oh, there's soup in my family.
Yeah, like if there's a good story about it. So
Got my grandma's sister Slim. Slim makes good soup that I do not know anything about.
So you miss out on your family's soup traditions, and they kind of understand because they're your family.
Yeah,
right.
They 100% understand it somehow.
Have you ever
They'll
been
talk
in
a little dirt about it, but
Well, yeah, they're gonna rib you a little bit or whatever.
Just a little.
Have you ever been in a situation where it wasn't somebody so understanding, like?
Oh, a few times.
Okay.
I can't remember too many. People kind of know that about me. No.
Right. Okay, so like hypothetically then, what if there were a potential employer and they had something for all the new hires and it was like a chili feed or like something like that, and you have to...
Yeah, something like that. It's like I'd almost have to grab a plate and look like I'm eating it as much as possible, but I've mastered the art of, you take that paper plate and you go to the trash can, turn it over, and don't let anything spill out.
You'd pretend.
That was an empty plate. I don't know what
I can tell you don't
about.
eat soup because you're talking about eating it off of a plate. So.
Oh, we were just talking about other foods.
I know.
All right, so an employer makes a big old batch of soup and I have to get a bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one. Like it's because this is a bowl they're gonna have to clean and stuff. It's got to go into a sink or a wash. There's no hiding it. I can't just throw that. You can't throw soup in a trash can.
Could you bring yourself to do it for an important reason? What if you were going to marry somebody and you were talking to their family and they served you some soup by surprise?
Yeah, I'd have to start taking some bites out of it.
Yeah.
I can say with full confidence it would look pretty embarrassing watching me eat this bowl of soup.
So you would look like you were suffering.
And I'd try to hide it as best as possible. I just don't think there's any hiding it.
Okay, so if you've never tried it, I mean, I can't really ask you if it actually makes you sick or anything like that.
Yeah, because I don't know.
You wouldn't know. But you it seems like you expect that it would.
Yes.
Okay.
It's it's engraved in my brain. If I eat this, I'm not going to like it.
Yeah.
I'll get sick.
So this is part of what I want to know about what it's like to be a picky eater, because I'm not one, and I assume that other people listening, some of us are and some of us aren't. But part of the mission for this show is to get people to know what other people are like, just so we can all accept each other and live together better. Have you ever had people that don't accept that and that say, "Oh, just eat it," or
no one that they won't take no for an answer? I don't know anyone like that.
Right.
They'll just rib me a little and be on with it, and that's really it. I've never met anyone who it's giving me an ultimatum, you eat that now. That just sounds like a weird situation.
It does sound
weird. You eat that right now.
I could see in where we live in this culture here, people being passive aggressive about it, maybe, or yeah. Did you ever encounter any of that?
Not too much, no.
No. Okay, so it's been pretty easy on you.
Yeah. It's just I avoid the foods I feel like I wouldn't like. And I get that feeling I wouldn't like it based on looks, smell, and other things like that.
But you feel sort of sick when you imagine eating
it.
Yes,
big time.
Okay. So you feel quite sick when you imagine eating it.
Yeah.
So if we can imagine, it seems like there's a strong psychological component to it.
It must be.
Yeah.
Don't know where that ever would have came from. I just always have known myself as I've been a picky eater my whole life.
What would be the worst? Like, so if we're talking like maybe just what could make it even worse if it was cold or if it like bigger chunks?
I definitely would prefer hot, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, than cold. The absolute worst. I mean, soup is already as bad as it gets, in a way. There's so much stuff already in it.
Chunks would be bad.
Chunks would be bad. Like, I see a carrot floating there. Avoid that spot. That can go sit on the border of the bowl.
Do you like carrots by themselves?
Hardly. I can maybe take a bite of a baby carrot, but like eat a pack? No.
No. Okay. And that's raw, like cooked carrots? Worse?
Never really.
No.
Never really.
You wouldn't.
Tried them.
You wouldn't. But there are things that you would eat that if they were in soup, you would not eat them.
Yeah. Like, I like some of my meats. I don't even know what goes in soup. What do most people put in soup? There's chicken noodle soup. I like chicken.
Sure.
I eat a lot of chicken.
You like chicken. So if I had a chicken breast and I cut it up into little cubes, you would eat it.
Yes. Throw those chicken cubes in a bowl of soup.
Yeah.
It'd get a little weird.
If I put some chicken broth on top of them in a bowl, then you would not eat it.
No.
Okay. That's interesting.
I know. Yeah, I'm finding this interesting about myself, even.
Good. Yeah, I am
You're asking the hard-hitting questions.
I am trying to get at some details, because I don't know. I was raised by lawyers, so somewhat like understanding what's the specifics of this. What's the actual definition of soup? I mean, so it gets philosophical too. Like, okay, I was thinking, so like broth. Like broth, you would try, but it's not soup.
Yeah, it's not soup. Because it doesn't have all the chunks floating in it.
Okay.
I hope the broth tastes good.
What about just like tomato soup? It's basically like tomatoes and spices, and it's when water and it's blended up. It's hot.
It's a good segue into our next chapter here. I don't eat vegetables.
You don't eat
corn and peas. That's it.
Corn and peas.
And that's only on like occasion.
Okay.
I haven't touched another vegetable.
Okay. So we eat corn and peas and no other vegetables.
There's none other I can think of. I hate green beans.
Potatoes.
Oh, that's a vegetable, ain't it?
Technically.
Yeah, there's some technicalities.
It's a starchy vegetable.
A starch or whatever it's called. Yeah, I do like potatoes. I like mashed potatoes. I like baked potatoes. Will not put gravy over it. I'll just eat it.
That's okay.
I'll just eat it normal.
That's okay.
I don't eat the skins, though. If I'm going to have a baked potato, I won't eat the skin. Because I got people in my family who do.
Sure.
No, I ain't going to do that.
Sure.
See, I like fruits.
Yeah.
So, there's hardly any fruits I don't eat.
Yeah.
But not vegetables.
All right.
I don't go near this stuff.
All right. So I think I've maybe already touched on this, but I'm just going to ask like directly. It doesn't matter. Like if it's free, if you get free soup, and you're hungry.
I'm too picky of an eater.
Yeah. You'll just, if you're hungry, you'll just wait till something else comes along.
Yes.
Because you're not that hungry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say I've never been in a situation where I'm literally starving. I need something to eat. Mm-hmm. I would really want to know, like, someone put me in a scientific experiment. Will I eat a bowl of soup in, like, 10 seconds if I'm, like, straight up starving? Mm-hmm. Maybe someone should do that experiment.
There's probably always a situation where you would eat food. I mean,
yes.
There's people who, there's the story of, like, the plane wreck, and they eat the other people who died, Yeah, so there's something that's going to happen.
There's something primal about all that.
There's some circumstance under which you probably just eat some soup that smells good. Did you ever try to test your limits? We've kind of gone over that, but not with soup, though, huh?
Nope. For some reason, I haven't done it with soup.
No.
Maybe someone needs to just cook up a big batch of soup one time. Mm-hmm. I feel like my roommates did that last year, cooked up a big batch of soup. I didn't go grab a bowl. It was ready and prepared for me.
So you have a part-time job in food service.
Yeah.
And you don't serve soup there?
No.
Would you work with soup?
Yes. I feel like I would.
Okay. So
I don't get too grossed out if I'm not eating it.
Right. You can be around it.
I can be around it.
That's fine. You could serve it and stuff and hand it to people.
Yes, I could do that.
You could cook it maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you don't mind?
Because I don't think it's even the smell of soup that bugs me at all.
No. In fact, I could see you like turning on, like putting some broth in a pot, cutting up some stuff, putting it in there, and even like eating some of it before you throw it into the pot, but just not afterwards.
Yes, they take a little nibble of something before tossing it in there, and then not have a bowl of the soup.
What if we got our chicken soup, and we take a piece of chicken out, and you put it like on a cloth or a napkin, and it like dries out, so it's not all wet, and would you eat it then?
Yeah, but that'd be really weird. That'd be really strange to me.
But you would prefer that to eating it out of the bowl.
I'd prefer that to eating it like a spoonful of soup. This whole episode is making me want to try soup for no reason at all.
Wow.
I know, this is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, that's crazy to me too. That's not my intention at all. I'm just really trying to get to the bottom of it. So
I guess I'm figuring some stuff out.
Yeah, good. That's great. I'm really happy to hear that. And just one last question. Do you have any thoughts about cooking shows?
It can be really entertaining to watch. Sometimes the food looks delicious. Sometimes it looks like something that I know I would never touch.
Sure. Yeah, I just asked because you say you're a picky eater, so if there's any...
Even though it doesn't look like something I would eat, I can also recognize, like, that does look pretty good. Mm-hmm. I can see why other people would love to get their hands on that dish. Sure.
Well, that's good. That shows some open-mindedness, I think.
Yeah, I definitely have gotten a lot more open-minded about these foods I've always been picky against.
Because I probably have a stereotype in my mind of people when they don't like a food that they just say, "Oh, that's disgusting," like it's an objective fact or something like that.
Yeah, I don't ever try to make it like I'm trying to convey a message or like make people think the way I think. Like, you can't be eating that. That's disgusting. I never try to do that. Yeah. I just always known in myself I am a picky eater, and I'm not trying to change anyone's minds about the disgusting foods they're eating, but for some reason, they just look so disgusting to me. Mm-hmm. Chicken pot pie just popped up in my mind.
Sure.
Gross. Oh, my God.
Well, it's full of gravy, right?
Yeah, you open up a delicious-looking pie, and now all comes these vegetables and broth, and there's no way.
No way.
No way.
So what you don't eat, do you feel like that affects your nutrition?
Definitely, I should be eating more vegetables, obviously.
Okay.
That's a pretty good one. I eat my fruits, and I eat a lot of chicken, which I know is good for you. But it also, I don't know too much of the science behind nutrition.
Right.
But I am always finding myself eating the same, like, 5 or 6 meals every week.
Yeah.
And, like, how long is that going to be good for me?
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on and talking to me.
Yeah, thank you, Ocho.
I very much appreciate it. And stay healthy.
I will be staying healthy, I promise you all.
And real quick before we wrap up, I want to let our listeners know that this podcast is funded by people like you. If you like what you hear, please visit idon'tdothatpodcast.com/give. You can make a one-time contribution in any amount, or you can sign up for a membership for as little as $4 per month. And even that small amount helps a lot. And it'll give you access to exclusive content like bonus episodes, original music and comedy, and more. Make a contribution today at idon'tdothatpodcast.com/give. We appreciate you. I don't do that.
There's no way.
Thanks for listening to I Don't Do That. I'm Ocho, your host, chief engineer, and producer. I also composed and performed the theme song. Background music in today's episode performed by Peter Klug. Our webmaster is Anders Rydholm. Thanks to Carson, today's guest. Do you have an interesting, heartfelt, or entertaining story about something you don't do? If you'd like to be a guest on I Don't Do That, please visit ochotunes.com/podcast to apply to be a guest on our show. We share our stories to celebrate the diversity of human experience. My name is Ocho, and I'll talk to you again, if I'm lucky.